Right, well, hi everybody and welcome back to Lundy's Wild Camp Stroke Bushcraft. Today I'm just out for a day camp, check up on the actual shelter and that, drop off some supplies ready for the weekend, and just have a look at a couple of bits of kit. I've been sent some a nice kettle and a gas stove from Fire Maple, so I'll be taking a quick little look at that and see how it performs. And also the last time I was here I set up excuse me, I set up this camera trail. So trail camera, sorry. So what we're going to do is we'll have a quick look at some of the footage of that when I get the SIM card back home, and we'll see how it goes. Like, see if we picked anything up. Look, going and checking out the shelter, like animals and things. But yeah, looking at the shelter, it's held up quite well. It looks obviously there's been a bit of driving rain, so there's a little bit of dampness on the edges, but down on the bottom here, I'll just put a light on, it's nice and dry. So it's just the edges, which I knew that was going to happen because I need to build some walls on both sides, and yeah, it should be okay. But I did put this tarp over the top of the orange box, and there's no water on the top of it there whatsoever, so that means it hasn't been coming in too much, so that's happy days. But yeah, it's held up well. But I've got a nice camo tarp to put up on the top of it. I might do that today. I'm just going to take it a bit easy because I've been getting some new ink. If you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you'll know that I'm well into me tattoos. I'm practically covered from head to toe, and I've decided to start doing my hands. So I need to just take it easy. I'll put some cream on, then put a glove on just to protect that for the day. I'm not going to be doing anything major. It's just basically a come in, have a look around, drop some kit off, have a cup of tea, cook up some noodles or something on the stove, and then in the kettle, see how it works. But anyway, I'm going to get my chair out. Yep, my chair. And I'm going to sit down for 5, get my breath back, because that was kind of a little slog with all the gear I've got. So today I've brought out, it's an old army Bergen. It's just the basic standard ones that the normal, like us that were in the artillery really got. And I've just added some side pouches. I'm not going to leave the side pouches here, but the Bergen, I've never used it. It's been in the loft for years. I think I got that given off another lad who was serving longer than me. It's ideal for collecting firewood down at the old woods. So I'm going to just be getting that put into a sealable bag and then storing it here for when we go down. We'll probably just get hung up here actually, because it's nice and dry. Obviously there's a little bit of condensation will appear because it's plastic, as you can see, from off the logs, because the logs were slightly dampened anyway, so they'll be drying out in time. But it's looking really good. Yeah, I'm really happy. Obviously it's a bit dark in here with it being black, but I've got a silver and green tarp that I'm going to put up on the back wall as a reflector, so it reflects all the heat back onto us. That'll come up in a future date, but yeah, it's good just to be out for a couple of hours. It's been 2 weeks since I've been out, but it's only been like a few days since you last seen us out camping. Right, well, I think before I start all my stuff and all that, as you can see, I've just took out a gas bottle and stove and a kettle. So we'll just talk about it. This one here, it comes in a nice big hard case, carry case. It's not your littlest stove, and this one is called the Wildfire, I think. Is it called the Wildfire? Should have brought some glasses as well. From Fire Maple, it's called the Wildfire 2 remote gas stove. I'll just put that down there. And it's a little Bobby Dazzler, right? Actually, it's got a crate base on it. So as you can see, it's got a very, very long flexi gas pipe with the fitting on there. The legs are, the things I like about the legs is the legs are actually part of the actual stove. So it'll sit on the floor nice and flat. As you can see, it's got a lovely little windbreak around it to protect the actual igniter and the actual gas stove itself. And yeah, it's got quite a good span on it. So basically when you've got it down, you've got nice big frying pans and that, you'll be able to get them on there and it's nice and sturdy. So that's one of the things I really like about it. All right, it's quite light. There's no weight in it whatsoever. And like I say, it's got a little ignition button on there. All right, so it ignites the gas. Now it takes the, what do you call it, gas. It's not just the one type. It takes this stuff here, which is the propane and mixture. All right, so you're better off using the decent gas. All right, you can get cheap gas, but it'll probably work, but not as good. So you just screw that on, and then you've got on here you've got this knob. It's just to alternate the heat and the amount of gas that comes out. All right, and it's brilliant. So we'll just turn the gas on. As you can hear, it comes out quite, so I'll just turn it on nice and low, hit the ignition, and there you go. Look at that. That's nice and quiet. Until you turn it on, and it's quite abrupt, but it's got a really good flame on it, as you can see there. All right, and I'm moving this around and it's not doing anything wrong because I'm using the proper gas. Now that's going to be brilliant. And as you can see, you can adjust the heat on it as well, so you can have it on a nice simmer as well. That is absolutely brilliant. So that's the gas stove. All right, I'm not going to go into great details about the dimensions, the weights and all that, and the cost. You'll find all that in the information down below. All right, there'll be a link in the description. I'm just going to put that down there, and it sits right nicely flat. And then I've been sent a new kettle as well. This is a newer one. I can't remember the name of it, I'm sorry. It's just got fire maple on there. But this is the new one. It's like a it's got a wider neck on the top, which I like, because you can use it as a normal like cooking pot as well, which is what I'm going to do today when I cook some noodles. And if I've got a tin open, I'll be using my pilchards. If not, I'll be using something else to go with my noodles. But yeah, it's I think it's about a 1 litre, 1.2. I'll put it up on the screen. Should have done my homework first, but that's being me. I don't do things like that. And I didn't bring out the box and all the leaflets because there wasn't any leaflets in it. But yeah, a nice of that Bushcraft kettle there. Really good. And as you can see, picking up the gas bottle by the leg, which is nice and cool. It fits on there lovely. So I'm going to pour about half a litre of water in. Yeah, that's about half the bottle there. More than enough for a decent brew. And then I'll have a brew and some noodles later on. And the lid fastens in. It doesn't like get secured like the other one that they've got, the Bushcraft kettle. All right, but it does fit in nicely. Yeah, I like the look of that. It's nice and shiny at the moment, but by the time I'm finished with it, it'll be a nice black colour. Because I don't like all the shiny stuff. I like a kettle that looks used. So this will be getting used on the normal fire as well. So at any rate, let's get this on and see what it's like. A nice stable flat bit of ground there to put it on. And as you can see, we've got the ignition just down here. So I've got the gas. The thing about these extendable things as well is you can keep your gas nice and far away from the actual flame. Just turn it on slightly. And then that's it. Make sure there's no crap on the bottom of my kettle. And then I'm just going to whack it right up to full. And we've now got, I don't know if you can see that, it's going to be upside down, I think. It's 10 to 10, sorry, 9 minutes to 10. So we'll see how long that takes to boil. That'll be happy days. And you've got a nice spout at the front of it. And it's got a reasonable long handle as well, which is quite far away from the actual kettle. So it should hopefully stay nice and cool. But anyway, I'm not going to... Oh, it's just the heat coming up on the kettle there. I thought it was actually starting to boil already. I was going to say that's quick. But I'll tell you what, like, it's getting there straight away already. And that's been like about 40 seconds. So yeah, it's a nice construction, and I definitely do like the idea of having a wider neck on the lid part, so you can use it as a normal pot as well as a kettle. So it's you know, instead of just having a kettle, you know, it's it makes sense, doesn't it? Because we don't want to take loads of kit out, even though I do. We don't want to be taking loads of items out just to do one job, which you can use a pan to boil water and to cook in. Whereas the kettle, if you've got a normal camp kettle, it's just a kettle. You can't do anything else with it. But this one here, because of the wide neck, you can use it for cooking like stews. I wouldn't say it was a two-man pot. It's definitely a one-man at a push, for, especially for me, because I eat quite a lot. But I can make a nice little stew in there or whatever, you know. Give it a rinse, boil some water in it, use that to wash it out and make a brew with. Because for me, if you've got dregs of food in the bottom of the pan and you're making a brew, it's just going to add taste to the brew, isn't it? Or is that a squaddy thing? Don't know if civilians like mixing food and drink together. But anyway, I'm waffling. That's been going for just over a minute and 20 seconds. As you can see, it's starting to steam there now. Oh yeah, it's about half a litre. I should have just hired the full litre in to do a proper litre test. But yeah. And obviously, because you've got the lid on, it's going to boil even quicker again, isn't it? But yeah, back out in the woods. Everything's looking as it was. Obviously my tripods went and fell over a bit. Obviously because we do get some big winds up here, and we are on the edge of the woods. But shelter's looking alright. Yeah, by the time we get the other camouflage tarp one, it's going to look even better. Because it looks just a bit black at the minute. There you can see the kettle's starting to get there, like. I can see some steam coming out. So let's have a look. Now, the grab handle on the top of the lid is actually freezing cold, and that's boiling away, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. All right. So that's took about 3 minutes, give or take a few seconds. So that's 9:54 on there, so that's not bad, is it? Not bad at all. Right, I need to find my brew kit. I'll make myself a brew. I won't bore you with that. I'll catch you in a bit when I've had a brew, and then we'll get doing some graft. Alright, see you in a bit. And if you're interested in that stuff, links in the description. Alright, and there'll be a discount code there as well. I'll put the discount code up on the screen as I see it. Probably be Lundy 10 or Lundy 15, something like that. Right, well, that's me, had me cup of tea. Now I'm going to get this tarp opened up. It's supposed to be 3 metres by 5 metres. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread it out, see where it is, and then the bird noise in here is amazing, you know. I get distracted quite easy. But anyway, what I've got is I've got a bit of cordage, so I can tie it onto one end of the tarp, and then I can hide it over the top of the shelter and then drag it over from the porch end. So let's get it laid out and just see which one's the 5 metre side and which one's not. Yeah, I think it's a bit noisy because obviously it's a cheap tarp. I think it cost about £14, £15 off Amazon, so that's not too bad. And if this starts getting little holes in it, or if it gets worn away too much, I'll just buy another one and then put the other one on top of this one and just keep doing that, you know, until I need to build a new shelter. So there, that's the tarp. So that's about the 5x3. This when I slept in this on the last video, I had my 3x3 tarp up on the roof and it fitted that bit perfect. So this should really fit perfect. Be nice if it was dry. Obviously there's going to be moisture underneath the two tarps, but it'll disappear over time. But anyway, let's get some rope tied onto it instead of waffling, and then we'll see if we can get it tied over. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come to the centre of the tarp. Instead of using just the one eyelet, I'm going to use the two. Yeah, so I normally find that when you're out on your own, you've got to do jobs like this, it's easier to do it this way. And then you just drag it over and then just keep faffing on with it until you get it sorted. So I've got a little loop on there. Obviously this is going to be a bit tedious putting it all the way through, but it'll make it nice and secure on the line. I've got quite a lot of cordage on here. This was one of my guidelines. I just left them up here to use for building with and just replace them. So that's it on. And then all I'm going to do is find the end, get a bit of a rotten stick, loop that around a couple of times, tie just a basic overhand knot on it. Alright, so that's that on, and this will act as my weight. Just grab all the loose end up to where the stick is, and then throw this over there. That's it, gone right round the other end. And then, just to give it a little bit of help and get it away from getting ripped on all the branches, I'm just going to hide it up on there as best I can. Alright, and then we'll move round to the front. So you can see the cord just come right the way through, straight on the centre. So I'm just going to untie this bit of stick now, bit of rotten punk wood, and then just nice and gently pull this up. As you can see, I've tied it on where the two rings are instead of one. Just it makes it a bit more tougher, and you're not going to pull the rings out. And then it's just a case of pulling all the cordage back through, get that off, and then we'll start trying to get this sorted. Without it all knotting. And sometimes it's easier said than done. Oh. Right, so that's the cordage all being used. I'll just roll her into a very messy, knotty pile and just hide under there. And then we'll start looking at pulling the tarp over. And hopefully we'll get it over all the sides. I'm just hoping this is going to be big enough. It's not. It's looking a bit narrow compared to what I had it. So as you can see, we're moving around the back of the shelter now. All right. Yeah, seems to have just fits on the sides, which is ideal. And I'm just going to pull it so I can see where it's roughly at the front, and that's going to go right the way down to the bottom, which is exactly what I wanted. And then I've just got to square that far edge up, and then this one. And as you can see, it's got some little loops here. All right, I'll just show you. Let's bring you around the side. As you can see, it's got some really cheap eyelets on. Okay, if you put loads of pressure onto them, over time they're just going to snap. All right, and rip all the canvas. So I've got a cunning plan. All right, it's a little bit of extra cost, but I've had them in the shed for years and never used them. But as you can see, sorry, moving these around like lunatics, I've only got a tiny little bit of a hangover left. I've still got that bit there to pull over at the back to get it right the way down to the ground. All right, and then what I'll do is I'll secure it at the front first, yeah, and then work down the sides and keep pulling it tight at the back as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a couple of gadgets. I'll show you what I'm going to do for tying it on, because obviously it's only got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eyelets on. That's not enough. Okay, and maybe I should have got a 4x5, and then I could have looped it underneath the shelter like I have with the black tarp. That would have probably been the better option. All right, so it's just I've never thought about that. I've just thought, right, me 3x3 fitted on there perfect. It's probably about an extra 2 meters that I need for to get right the way down the back. But I've got a plan and I'm waffling. Bring us back in 2 seconds. So inside my little bag of tricks, I've got some clips. All right, what you do is you tie a little bit of cordage through that loop there. It's got a little tightener. You just unscrew that. It's like a little vice, yeah. And what it does is that clips onto your tarp. You tighten that. So where the eyelets aren't, in between all the eyelets, I'll tighten that on. So that'll grip it with its little teeth. Tie some cordage onto there, and then I can pull it round and tie the cordage off, and that'll keep it there. Fingers crossed. But I've got a few there, and I need to try and keep a couple for Rooney, because Rooney needs a couple as well for a little project he's doing. Like I say, I've had these in my shed for years. I bought loads of little bits of crap, and I always do that and just never use stuff. So they're going to come handy now. So let's get it.
We got your soul. Hunting alone.
Right, well, that's the front end done. Okay, so all I've done is I've tied a loop at the end, knotted it, okay, and I've wrapped it around the outer post slat coming down over and the main strap, and then I've just tied a couple of half hitches in there just to keep it in. So basically what I've done is I've done exactly the same on here and underneath, right underneath the black tarp, and then the same on this one and the same on this one. So that's all the front end done, okay, and it's not looking too bad, as you can see from up on the top. Obviously, if I had it a bit longer, it would have been better. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it around the back. All right. Excuse the camera action because I'm pulling it along. As you can see, it's slightly off on one side, but that's not a bother. All right. It's not a bother whatsoever, because that'll get hidden anyway. I can easily untie the free at the front and then pull it over a bit more if I wanted to. All right, but I'm not going to bother. It's ideal for where it is, because I'm going to build a wall up here and anyway with some stuff, and then I'll probably end up covering the top as well with something else. As you can see, I've got plenty underhang, so that'll just go underneath the log at the bottom, and that'll keep that down. And I might bring some old metal pegs up as well, and then just peg it in through the eyelets that's on the bottom, and we should be good to go. So the next thing I need to do is I need to get them black clips I was telling you about. My battery's going to run out soon. I've only brought 2 batteries with us. I didn't think I was going to be recording that much, to be honest. I'm going to do the ends, and then I'll bring this back and show you it finished, and then I'm going to get another cuppa And then I'm going to have some noodles and some tuna, tomato flavoured tuna. I'll mix that up. So anyway, battery's dying. I'm going to crack on and I'll do my normal Lundy trick of doing some graft, because I've explained to you what I'm doing, and I'll bring it back and show you when it's finished, and then I can save up on my batteries. All right, because I'm a muppet. I forgot to bring a charger. I should always do. Anyway, see you in a bit. Right, well, I think that's the tarp set up. I haven't needed any of these black clips. I don't think I'm going to need them. I'll keep them here though, just in case. But basically, I've sort of like equaled it out a bit. As you can see, it is pulling up a little bit, so we might get some wind going underneath there. That's a bit of a drama. So I might do the odd 1 or 2 clips on there. Look, see how it's flapping up. So the wind blows, it's going to go straight under there. So I might do the odd one on the front part. But at the back part here, it's gone down absolutely perfect. All right, and all the way down. I'll talk about the bottom at the back later in a bit. And then obviously, because I've went and pulled it and stretched it, obviously we might get a little bit of wind coming here, so I might have to put a clip on there. I'll see how it goes over the next couple of days. I'm back in a few days time, and then obviously we've probably got the same going on here. Aye, that's gone quite slack, that bit actually, which isn't happy. I'm not happy about that, so I'll have to undo this corner and then redo it. I think that's gone dead slack. I didn't realise it had done that. Anyway, these things are set to test us. Yes, test us. And that's what we do. We just keep plodding on until we get it right. Because nothing's perfect. Nothing ever is. And if anybody says it is, they're talking out the hoop. Hoopity hoopity hoop. But anyway, I've achieved what I wanted to do today. I've brought loads of gear in for the weekend. I've put my other tarp up. I've just got a few little adjustments to do, but we'll quickly go around the back. Now, when I put the black tarp up, last 2 weeks ago, I put that on top of the tarp, and there was a little bit of it coming out over. So when I've actually went and moved the log, there was a puddle forming on the bottom of the tarp. Now what will happen is over time that'll get all sludgy and slimy and gooey and stinky. And it does affect the way you sleep in your shelter, trust me. And you didn't want that. Is that horrible dirty toilet smell? Yeah. So anyway, what I've done is I've took it out, I've tucked it under, so it's at the inside of the shelter, and I've done the same with the tarp on the bottom. And then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to get loads of muck, and I'm going to start doing that. And I'm going to fill it all up on the bottom like so, yeah, and that'll cover all that rather than having a log, and at least the water will seep into the foliage that's on the ground. All right, so let's get loads of it and just keep doing that until it piles up. But like I said on a previous video, what I am going to do, just so it doesn't look like a camouflaged shelter, I'm going to put some stakes in at the back, and then I'm going to weave some sticks, and then I'm going to do it a slight bit away from the actual tarp. And then what I'm going to do is, to insulate it, I'm going to get loads of foliage, and I'm going to pour all the foliage down the back in between the tarp and in between the weaved wall that I'm going to put up, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the sides. That's what I've got planned to do now. So the next time I come, the first wall I'll be concentrating on is this one, because obviously that's a westerly wind coming in this way. I think this weekend we've got a southwest and southeasterly wind throughout the night, and we're looking at gale force winds as well, up to 50 odd miles an hour. So that's going to be fun being out here, hence why I need to get this tarp on now instead of doing it in the rain and in the wind. And yeah, it's another job ticked off the list. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a break. I'm going to have another cuppa, and I'm going to make some noodles and some tuna. So I forgot my tin opener, so I can't get into my pilchards. Rooney thinks I'm a wrangin' for eating that kind of stuff, but I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. But aye, it's coming on nicely. And I'm surprised. These new batteries for the GoPros, the white batteries, are much better. I can't remember the proper names of them, but I'm down to like 5% on my battery and it's still grafting. I wouldn't do that on the normal batteries. But there we go. Looks better than black, doesn't it? It's a bit creased, but we can't do everything perfect. Anyway, this is Lundy signing off. I'll see you later on when I've got a brew and some food, and we're going to sit and talk some crap, and we're going to waffle away. Aye, I just love waffling, and I'm glad you love watching it. So happy days. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Yeah, that's boiling. So all I'm going to do is, because I'm going to leave some of the water, that wasn't even on full belt either, that was just partially. So I'm just going to leave the stove on, just simmering. And I'm going to pour myself a nice cup of tea. Oh, it's great, just using a kettle. Let's have a look and see how much water I've got left in there, because I don't want too much water in there for my noodles. Just a smidgen. And then we'll take that off there, put that on my cup. Get the noodles. And we'll get... Jesus Christ, that was a tough bag, that. We'll get the sauce out. Put my noodles in there. Pump up the volume again. Yeah. Get that boiled. There's probably still too much water in there, like. Then we're just going to get this. Let's have a little taste of this on its own. The tomato tuna in this, it's only a small tin, but that's bloody delicious, that. Oh, just knocked me tin into me cup of tea. Sort me cuppa root while I'm waffling crap to use. Yeah, a nice British Army mug full of tea, so that's about just under half a litre, I think it is. Hot, wet, milky and sugary. Lovely, jubbly. And what I'll do is my rubbish will go in my bag when I go home. I'll put that down there because that's just going to be too warm. I'm going to take the lid off there now, actually. Right, the noodles don't want to be done too much. But what I do like about this is now I can pick this up, I can take this away, and I can pour my juices out of there without losing half my noodles like you do in a pan. And then I can come back, add my flavour, add my tuna, and that's it. Here, presto, all done. So I'm just going to tip this out over here, not under my shelter. Yeah, that's worth a treat. I've lost no noodles yet. Should have turned you around like. I've left a little bit of fluids in there just to give it a little bit of a soupy effect. I'm just going to make sure that gas is off. Yeah. So cooking noodles in the kettle and then pouring all the water out. I haven't lost any of my noodles whatsoever. And then I'm just going to put my flavour in. I've got a chicken flavour curry. Tastes alright. And then I've got me little bit of tuna with some tomato sauce flavour. Get that all in. That'll go in that packet and then that'll go home into the bin. Give it a little bit of a stir. I've got a lot of the flavour on the actual top of the spoon, like, but never mind. And because this has got a big massive open neck on it as well, I'm just going to turn yours down a little bit and bring yours in a little bit closer. Because this kettle's got a nice big open on the top, you can go in, you can actually see the food. Alright, obviously this is just a quick easy snack, you know. And then oh yeah, oh lovely jubbly. Right, well, that's food done, that's me brew done, and I'm not going to make you suffer by watching me eat it all. Okay, so I'm just going to take some time out now from videoing, and I'm going to call it a day on this one. So thank you very much for watching, everybody, because when I come out, I like on a day trip, I like to spend a few hours by myself, just sitting and listening to the music of the trees, the music of the trees and the birds, the sounds of the trees and the birds, and just the general sound of countryside. Obviously I can hear the farmer in the background on his quad bike, like he must be out tending to his cattle. But I'm going to go for a little walk around, do a little recce of a couple of little spots that I've been thinking about doing other different little camping things in. And I'm not going to bring you back for that, unfortunately. But I'd just like to say a massive, massive thank you to everybody. Okay. And also, I would like to say, I'm going to have to get my phone out because I try to remember their names, but I can't remember now. So I'm going to have to go on my phone. Right, first of all, I'd like to say a massive thank you to Derek MacArthur. Derek, it was a great... I just had a... Jesus Christ, the size of that hair coming through the woods. I don't know if the camera will pick it up on the bottom there. That was massive. It's just come walking straight past us. Oh, get in, we've got hairs coming through the woods as well. Oh my God, I can't believe that was huge. That's a proper dinner, that. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted. So Derek MacArthur. Derek, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you the other day, mate, and I hope you get sorted with getting out camping and that. All right, and thanks for the coffees, mate. It's highly appreciated. And the next one is Cy Wilson. Cy, thank you very much, mate. Same again. All right. I don't ask these people to donate to my channel, but if you do want to, that's entirely up yourself. All right, you're not obliged to do it. I do these videos for free, for people to watch for free, to listen to me talk crap like I'm talking now. All right, but if you want to give something back to the channel by donating a couple of pennies for a buys of coffee or to the PayPal account, then feel free to do so. All right, all the cash does go back into the channel. All YouTubers will all pay out money to do these videos, but it's also our hobby as well. I see this as a hobby, it's not a job. I come out because I love doing it, and I love talking to the camera, and I love the reactions, and I love the comments I get back off yous, and that's why I do it. All right, it's just one of them things. Somebody will probably say, well, if you don't want the money, why are you putting the links in for? I do the links because everybody does. You know, and if I can get a couple of extra pennies to help me with me fuel or buy equipment to come out and do stuff like this, bills, the tarps doesn't cost out, the food doesn't cost out. All right, it all costs money. And I just stack shelves for a living on a night shift. All right, 3 nights a week. I'm not made of it. But anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you're interested in the stove and the kettle, go and check the links below. Fire Maple have got some amazing kit on their website, all right? And there will be a discount code. I'll put that up on the screen, and it'll be inside the description as well. All right, and you'll get like 10%, 15% off the asking price for the equipment that I've talked about today. So anyway, waffle. I'll see you on the next one, when me and Rooney will be out camping for a couple of nights. See you later.